Yo. Yo, you good?
Yeah, I'm alright, you?
Yeah, good. Second episode today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it'll be worth it now.
Yeah. So, welcome to episode 2 of the podcast.
Today we're going to be talking about what would have happened if Darth Maul killed Obi Wan Kenobi in episode 1.
Yeah, so obviously it was quite a big turning point with the Sith and Jedi.
Especially if you've read the books.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would have made a big difference. But it was definitely a good way to start off the prequels.
Yeah, I'd say that.
It's very overhated.
It is.
Episode 1. Let's start with some pros and cons.
Yeah, so we've got number 1, probably what I'd say, is that it made the Sith legacy it would have made it stronger, if that makes sense.
It would have made Darth Maul's story a lot better.
Yeah, like he would have got more screen time.
I know, because in episode 1 he didn't get much. I mean, he did get quite a bit in Rebels, a little bit in the Clone Wars, but it would have been very cool to see him dominate in episode 2,
yeah.
And maybe even episode 3.
As well, if you think about it, compared to other Sith, he really didn't get that much screen time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he was really cool as well. He was very individual.
Yeah, he was, because he kind of works as like this lone assassin type, you know, kind of his own guy.
He was always ready for a fight.
Yeah, definitely. You can see that when he attacked Qui-Gon and Anakin when they tried to get off Tatooine.
Yeah,
when he agreed to train.
Yeah, he was a really interesting character.
He definitely was.
I would have loved to see him more on screen.
Yeah. I've seen this thing and it was, do you think that Maul should have his own separate kind of, not full series, but maybe like his own small one?
Yeah, like a mini-series.
I feel like it would be interesting, but not necessarily because of what most people would think, like more screen time. I think it'd be interesting to kind of see his backstory and how he got into contact with Palpatine or Sidious.
I'd love to see it as a kind of, yeah, like a mini-series.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love it as a kind of like Tales of the Jedi, where it's like episodes, but they cover a long span of time.
Yeah, like they're quite short and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, as well, linking to like how he met with Sidious, you could have. So, if Maul ended up winning over Obi Wan, then it was kind of a thing in my head. Would he overthrow Palpatine?
I don't think so.
I don't think he would have, but I think he could have got up to his level if you think about it, because if he never kind of stopped, then it would have not disruled Anakin, but it would have been like a replacement for Sidious's apprentice.
Yeah, he definitely would have then got rid of the rule of 2.
Yeah.
I think Sidious would 100% want Darth Maul and Anakin, and I think Darth Maul would maybe end up pushing Anakin to the side.
Yeah. That might be, as well, a con leading on to that, because Anakin wouldn't get, like, full proper training, because... So if the rule of 2 was broken in episode 1, then you've got to think both Maul... But Maul wouldn't have been affected as much, but Anakin, leading up to that, he wouldn't have got training, but obviously Darth Maul was a full Sith already.
Yeah, that's true.
So it kind of paves a path of hot take here, but Anakin could have never became the chosen one without the proper training.
Yeah, he would have never been... I mean, yeah, it would completely knock Anakin out of the kind of main character, because Darth Maul is a lot more ruthless.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely, 100%.
when we think of Cloud City in episode 5,
Yeah,
I mean, Sidious could have just sent Darth Maul in and it would have been over for Luke.
yeah,
Darth
exactly.
Maul, he wouldn't have that. He doesn't have the emotional attachment, so nothing would stop him from just going in.
That's the thing with Maul. He never really had the emotional attachment, not needed, but that you had with other people. He was kind of, as you said, ruthless. He didn't have any, not morality, but he didn't really affect others' lives in that way.
He didn't have anyone to be affectionate towards, besides Savage Opress, but...
Yeah. It's kind of like the... Link into that, it's kind of like Obi Wan and Anakin. They would have never got the brotherhood that they obviously did have.
Yeah. I mean, as well, think about the Clone Wars. I mean, Darth Maul, he was in the Clone Wars, but only season 7. He was mainly in season 7. But imagine how brutal the Clone Wars would have been.
It would have been so much, worse, because, well, for the Republic, obviously.
Yeah, it would be very entertaining.
Yeah, but never kind of just, it wouldn't have been a fair war.
Yeah, because when you see General Grievous, running away, or Count Dooku running away, Darth Maul doesn't have that in his mind.
As well, if you got the commentators, the Clone Wars wouldn't have worked that well.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked in the Republic's favour.
It might have. Well, I wouldn't say it wouldn't have kicked off, but it wouldn't have been as kind of the Clone Wars was very kind of just in general forced. In the fact that it started in a really, really short period of time. It wasn't a gradual fade into war. It was literally bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, because as soon as we realise, episode 1, we realise the Sith are back. Episode 2, it's kind of kicks off the war.
Yeah.
Because we get the clones, we get the Battle of Geonosis, we get Count Dooku v Yoda. We get all of that, and it's the Clone Wars definitely would have been less important.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have those factors of Count Dooku. You 100% wouldn't have General Grievous because he wouldn't be important.
And you wouldn't have, if you think about it, so when Qui-Gon passed on his kind of leadership to Obi-Wan would have been able to pass it on to Anakin, which obviously Anakin and Obi-Wan, basically the main forces of the Clone Wars for Jedi wise, especially in the series for Jedi wise.
Yeah,
they're definitely the main kind of duo that they follow.
Yeah, and then it's like a hierarchy in the Clone Wars. You got Anakin and Obi-Wan, then you got Ahsoka, then you got Yoda.
I was going to say, Ahsoka wouldn't have even happened either. They would have never been introduced.
She wouldn't have been as big of a factor.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have got any screen time because she would have definitely been there, but she wouldn't be with Anakin because Obi-Wan wouldn't be there. She was supposed to be with Obi-Wan, but again, Obi-Wan wouldn't be there. Anakin could have been the Padawan of Mace Windu, for example.
Yeah, anyone.
And that would have been powerful.
I feel like it would have been powerful, but Mace Windu, Mace Windu was a really powerful character in the fact that he always embraced the dark side, but he didn't get corrupted by it.
He also was very open-minded about his opinion on Anakin.
He was.
I mean, he didn't hold back on kind of hating on him.
Yeah.
There was no, maybe Anakin's not the chosen one. He was just, I don't think he's the chosen one. I don't think he's this, I don't think he's that. And I liked that, but I think if he had got emotionally connected to Anakin, like if they were a duo, if they were partners in crime, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They would have seen eye to eye a lot more. But I do think that would make Anakin fall for the dark side a lot easier, following someone who embraces it.
It's funny the fact that this one little fact of episode 1 could have changed the whole universe as we know it. Like, so if Maul ended up killing Obi Wan, number one, the Jedi would have been basically screwed. Anakin would have never been trained, so there'd be no. Well, there certainly wouldn't be any duel on Mustafar because neither of them. Well, Obi Wan wouldn't be there. He'd basically cease to be. Just obviously he's dead.
Yeah.
And then Anakin wouldn't have been trained properly because he wouldn't have been trained by Obi Wan.
Yeah, they kind of clicked. It's like they were kind of destined to be
definitely
friends.
Yeah,
but yeah, without Obi Wan, he should have still been trained, whether it's Plo Koon or Mace Windu or whatever. But
it wouldn't have seemed right.
Yeah, and he wouldn't have done as well as he did.
Again, linking to that brotherhood, Darth Maul didn't have any, but the link in the bond between Anakin and Obi-Wan really set out and panned the universe.
Yeah.
Because the Clone Wars formed around them, and then you've got like Ahsoka and then other characters being introduced through that, but they would have never clicked.
Yeah, it would not have been the same. The whole of Star Wars would not be the same if Darth Maul survived and Obi-Wan died. I mean, it's not even a case of whether Obi-Wan died. Even just Darth Maul surviving would have changed it so much, because, again, the Clone Wars and Episode 2, it would have been so much more ruthless.
Exactly.
I mean, Count Dooku kind of watched from the sidelines, but Darth Maul would have been destined to go in. And
he would have got, if you think about it, so you've got Dooku, Sidious, Ventress, Opress, and Darth Maul. Them 5 alone could have, if they worked together, that could have ended the Jedi. If they worked together properly, and they all coincided.
Yeah, and then you got to factor in Grievous, the whole army, the CIS. Like, if they all saw eye to eye, they would have been unstoppable. Yeah,
exactly. They literally would have been too powerful for anyone. And then as well, imagine if they ended up finding Anakin, but warping him straight away into a... Because imagine how strong Anakin would have became if he was trained from a Sith straight away.
Yeah, like they had kind of brought him in straight after episode 1.
He would have, I think, if Anakin wasn't trained by Obi-Wan and he was trained by one of the Sith, I think it definitely would have been Dooku.
Yeah, 100%, because Dooku knows what's wrong with the Jedi. He sees what's wrong with the Republic. He would have taught Anakin, and I mean, with Anakin's midichlorian count, he would have easily been able to stop people from dying. He wouldn't have been able to, obviously, have children with Padme, but...
Yeah.
I think when you're a Sith, that's not very much on your mind.
Out the window.
I mean, again, with his midichlorian count, he could have just made children.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how Anakin was born, supposedly. Yeah. And I believe in it, man.
Yeah, so do I.
I mean...
How else could he have... Because Shmi, like, when we saw her in episode 1, when Maul came to basically assassinate, and then Qui-Gon went to get Anakin, you kind of... So Shmi was the... She was the only one there, basically, so there could have been... Oh, as we know, this shouldn't have been anyone else, and you should have... It kind of implied that he was created through the Force.
Yeah, because she never had a husband. She never had a boyfriend. She was just her.
Yeah.
And then as well, just imagine how it would have worked out if Shmi was killed earlier on, like not taken in as a slave.
As well, because that fueled, basically, like, he was trying to not expose his feelings, but trying to express them. And when he came back to find out Shmi's missing, and then he ended up killing
all the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, all the Tusken Raiders. That kind of fueled it even more, to the point where it was at the brink where he could have he could have been a Sith right there, right then.
I mean, as well, you could argue, if Obi Wan wasn't there, I mean, Anakin and Ahsoka could have become Grey Jedis.
Exactly. They could have just been neutral. It's kind of like Dooku, because he was an interesting character in the fact that obviously he was a Sith, but he wasn't really a Sith.
Yeah.
He was a kind of political
figure.
Yeah, he was a really political figure, but the Jedi didn't meet him halfway with that. It was kind of it was only really the Sith, and then obviously with Yoda and stuff, it was kind of like they didn't see, so it kind of just got to a point where he just became slightly on the Sith end, but a Grey Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. I get where you're coming from with the Grey Jedi, but he was not a Grey Jedi. There's a obvious link.
No, but I mean in the fact that he wasn't fully a Sith or a Jedi. He was just in the middle, more leaning towards the Sith side.
Yeah, I mean, in the Clone Wars, you could definitely see a Sith side. I mean, he was actually Darth Tyrannus, but otherwise, he was Count Dooku. He kind of led the CIS, but as a political figure who knew how to use the Force.
Yeah.
I mean, it just...
Yeah, it was the fact that he worked so closely with Maul as well, who as well wasn't, again, he wasn't a Jedi or a Sith, but he worked with the Sith. He wasn't either of them until he was kind of forced into it. So the fact that they link into each other works really well, because they worked really closely together, and then obviously he was the first person that Dooku fully met eye to eye with. He was the one that he agreed with, basically, like fully. Yeah. Because they were both Dooku was more political, but Darth Maul was doing all he knew, basically. He was doing his job.
Yeah. I mean, he grew up on Dathomir, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if my facts are right. I haven't watched
like
Clone Wars in a while. But he grew up there and he was kind of brought up and he was chose by Mother Talzin to be, like, he was put in a kind of Hunger Games situation where you have to outlast the rest.
Yeah.
He didn't have to kill them, but he had to surpass them to win.
Yeah, he kind of had to... yeah, I get what you mean. It's kind of hard to explain. It's he tried to meet them, but he kind of tried to surpass them in that way.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of the kind of challenge was they found the best fighters, the most fit people.
Yeah.
And they found the best one by putting them through challenges, and we saw that because that's how Savage Press was, like...
chosen,
chosen by Dooku.
Yeah, like given the privilege of.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad the way they did it, but I think it shaped Darth Maul as the kind of hatred.
Yeah, it definitely did. And that kind of fueled with Obi Wan, it shows the fact that he was just doing what, number one, he was hired to do, and number two, what he did naturally.
Yeah. There was the thing about Darth Maul's anger and hatred. General Grievous shows the kind of cyborg side, and
Yeah.
then Count Dooku shows the fallen Jedi, and that's how Anakin is shaped. But yeah, man, Darth Maul's backstory is really sad.
Yeah, as well, it was interesting, the fact that he was kind of the one that broke the seal of having a single lightsaber, because we'd never seen anything like that, except obviously the Inquisitors, but they came really later on. They didn't come in early at all. He was the only one with a double-bladed lightsaber for a long time.
I mean, I don't doubt that there was any before him, but
no,
on screen, yes.
On screen, yeah,
and
he made a big impact
cool,
on that.
Yeah, it was a really cool spectacle, especially in the 90s for people like my dad and his friends. That would have been really cool to see. When I saw it for the first.
I was going to say, it was the fact that he just held out in front of him, and then it was like, okay, this is odd, because last time he had a different stance, and then it was the second blade that came out. Can you imagine the atmosphere in the cinema after that must have happened?
I know. It would have been...
It must have just been like an audible gasp and then just silence.
Yeah, I mean... You would have known something is off, because nobody really starts like that with a single blade.
Exactly, that's what I mean. The only person was Ahsoka. She held it in a reverse grip, and she had two.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But that might show the link, is in the fact that they both had double-bladed, and the fact that they were both, in a way, their own unique character. The fact that Ahsoka wasn't the first person, obviously, to have two lightsabers, but she was probably the most memorable.
Yeah, I mean, Ahsoka's saber was really cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, without Darth Maul, I don't think they'd ever find out, or they would find out a lot later who the Sith were.
Obi Wan would have... So if he had died on that duel, and obviously Qui-Gon's dead, he would have been carried into episode 2 and maybe possibly 3, because he would have been still going, and they simply wouldn't have found out who it was. They wouldn't have been able to capture him.
And I don't think they would have killed him off either beforehand.
No.
I mean, another thing I find cool about Darth Maul is, let's say episode 1 kind of didn't happen. Darth Maul wasn't found.
Yeah.
And
it was kind of just in the shadows.
Yeah. There was a woman in the Republic, and she had a red lightsaber, but because they thought Sith were extinct, they
didn't think anything of it.
They let her have it. And I mean, fair play, because she wasn't a Sith.
Yeah.
But then as soon as Darth Maul was exposed, they got rid of it right then and there.
Yeah, imagine how impactful that was, though. The facts that the Republic allowed that to happen, and then obviously that's before, because of the prequels, that's before everything happens. So they wouldn't have, before Darth Vader, before... I'm not saying Count Dooku wasn't there, but he hadn't fully kind of arisen yet.
Yeah. He was, again, kind of in the shadows. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that because of the whole, when the Sith were exposed, there's no doubt in my mind that there was questions about Mace Windu.
Oh, yeah,
100%. In the dark side. Because there's just no doubt in my mind that some people were raising eyebrows at his use of the dark side.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I trust Mace Windu because he never did turn to the dark side. He
he just embraced it.
Yeah. I mean, Mace Windu is a cracking character.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Very cool. I mean, he didn't even choose... Well, he didn't choose the purple lightsaber because he wanted to balance the dark side.
Yeah.
He kind of just moulded it afterwards. But because it was just the movies and not the books, that was just kind of... He just wanted to be different.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Fair enough. I mean, why would you not want to have custom lightsaber.
Yeah.
Or a custom colour, like, if you went in and you were like, oh, I want to have a pink lightsaber or whatever.
Yeah.
You'd stand out a lot more.
Yeah. There's maybe like a final statement. We could do... what's a good final statement? We could do something about... do you think... So, obviously we've talked about Anakin a lot. Do you think he would have turned to the dark side as maybe Dooku's apprentice?
Well, I think that the chance of him turning to the dark side would have been much lower. But it all depends on then what happens to his mother. Because obviously, if his mother died, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have turned to the dark side.
Oh, 100%.
Because that's the whole thing that kind of pushed the button for him to start.
Kind of like the release on like a rocket or something. It set him off.
Yeah, like one little pebble moves and the whole
world collapses.
Exactly. So, I think he could have 100% been Count Dooku's apprentice, because I think that would work a lot more. I doubt he would be. I don't think he'd be Darth Vader either. He would have stayed as Anakin Skywalker. Well, I think he would have been Darth Vader, but not literally. He wouldn't have been mechanical.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been mechanical and like physically Darth Vader, but he would have still been mentally Darth Vader.
Yeah, people would refer to him as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that would have been a cool way. But again, you can't do anything about it because the originals came out before the prequels.
Yeah, I was going to say they got kind of stuck there. Because I think episode 1, it was so underrated in the fact that they could have made so much off it.
Exactly. If it was the actual first movie, they could have done anything.
Exactly. They could have literally gone anywhere with it. Like, Darth Maul would have been probably one of the main Sith in the universe.
Exactly. Either way, if What If comes out for Star Wars, hire us.
Oh yeah, please. That'd be so good.
We're too good at this whole, like, been
making stuff
what
up.
Ifs. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. But it's cool to think of what would have happened. Like, because obviously we know that it would have been one of the main Siths and that Obi Wan would have been dead. But I feel like it'd be cool to see, like, as we said, them 5 working together versus the Jedi Council. Because if they grew, that could be like a whole Clone Wars of itself. Like that council, the Jedi Council versus the Sith Council, them going at it.
I know, I mean, it would change everything.
It really would.
But I don't think that the chemistry would be there. I don't think the team would work well. Maybe some aspects, like Darth Maul and Savage, or Count Dooku and Ventress. I think under Sidious's rule it would work because it...
Yeah, but then you think, if that were to happen, would Sidious be ruling? Because if you think of all of them, would you have still had him as the leader? Because considering he's the only one without a lightsaber. So...
Yeah, in that sense, yeah. I think he could have easily been overthrown. He carries his lightsaber, but...
But if you think about it, with all 4 of them against him, he's not winning.
Very low chance, yeah. I mean, story-wise, I think they would let Darth Sidious
Story-wise, they would have let Darth Sidious win.
But power-wise...
If he had no plot armor, easily win. But yeah, I think that would have definitely happened between them. So yeah, I'd really like to see a series between the Jedi and the Sith, kind of, if they were to make like a 5, just go at it and make their own maybe little series.
Yeah, 100%. Alright, I think we should wrap it up around here.
Yeah, about here. So yeah, it was definitely a good episode. So yeah, let us know if you want more, if you like the episode and all of that. So
hope you enjoyed.
See you next time.